Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to debunk the global warming theory, like, easily. All you got to do is repeat this one thing to, like, any college professor around the world, or the IPCC, or some weatherman, or whatever. All the experts. The main false base premise to their model that demonizes the carbon dioxide, like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to demonize the carbon dioxide. So how do they do that? What they do is they make a flat earth model. Now, the reason that they do this is they can weaken the intensity of the sunlight. What they do, when they calculate the area of the earth, they take the intensity of the sun, because they're trying to demonize the carbon dioxide by making the solar flux weak, or the intensity of the sun weak. And the way that they do it is they calculate the area of the earth and they spread the sunshine over the entire earth, the daylight and the dark side of the earth. And by doing that, they eliminate the North Pole and the South Pole, where it hits less intense there, because we know it hits more intense around the equator. They eliminate sunrise and sunset when they do that, where the sunlight is less intense. So it's more intense around, like noontime in the day. So what they do is they take a spot on the earth where the sun's really intense, where it creates the weather and thunderstorms and stuff. And what they do is they spread that intensity over both the lit side of the earth and the dark side of the earth. And when they spread it all out, it makes it so weak that it can't explain what causes the weather. And at that point, that's when they can demonize carbon dioxide. See, they all have an agenda, like in the government and around the world. Like, they have this agenda, and this global warming thing fits their agenda. Because, like, if they can demonize carbon dioxide, they can make all kind of regulations for businesses and power supplies. And, they can sell windmills and solar panels and all kind of garbage, and make all kind of money and regulations and stuff. Tell people what to do, when to do it, where to grow their food in their field. What kind of cars they can buy. It's just like ridiculous. It's gotten really out of hand, and this stuff needs to be exposed. But it's a flat earth model where they fiddle with the intensity of the sun to make it seem as though the sun's not capable of heating the earth. And then they have like this amplification loop, and they're trying to tell you that this trace gas in the atmosphere, carbon dioxide, this tiny amount of gas that's a trace gas, is just amplifying the crap out of the sunlight, the solar flux, like they're saying that it heats the earth twice as much as the sun, which is like ridiculous. They have like an amplification loop where it heats the earth twice, even though carbon dioxide doesn't have any chemical or nuclear reactions in order to do that. Now, carbon dioxide, it's like aluminum. It radiates heat away quick. Just like aluminum radiates heat away quickly. That's why they use it in radiators, because it radiates. That's why they use carbon dioxide in the coolant industry. Yeah, it's a coolant. I was driving on the highway the other day, and there's a CO2 truck, and it said, coolant on the side of it. So, yeah. Now, if you got like a flame and you heated up the aluminum, like an aluminum bar, the bar would get hot, but it's never gonna send heat back to the flame and make the flame hotter. See, in the global warming model, what they're trying to say is that like carbon dioxide is like sending the heat back to the flame. See, the sun heats the earth gets like really hot because like I lived in Florida in the summertime, and if you walk across the beach, you'll burn your feet. If you walk across the blacktop pavement, you will burn your feet. You can fry an egg. If you touched your car, like if you got like a dark colored car, maybe even a light colored car, it gets so hot there, you touch your hand to that, you're gonna get your hand burnt. Because it, like, the sun heats it so much. The sun heats it really intense. In the IPCC global warming model, what they're trying to tell you is that it's the air that's heating those surfaces twice the amount as the sun is. That doesn't make any sense. The air would have to be hotter than the ground because heat only flows in one direction, from hot to cold. That's literally the definition of heat. Heat moves from hot to cold only, period. That's the law of thermodynamics. There's no such thing as back radiation. Like heat doesn't go backwards. Like if that aluminum bar gets hot, it's not going to make the flame hotter. It's just going to radiate it and scatter the heat away. That's what the carbon dioxide does. Now, out in space, they wear spacesuits to protect themselves from the intense solar flux, because it's more intense up there than it is here on Earth. Well, why is that? Well, the atmosphere of the Earth protects us from the intensity of the solar flux in space. So that means that the atmosphere is radiating away this intense solar flux before it gets to the Earth. So it's already radiating it away. So it can't do both things. It can't be amplifying the heat and radiating it away at the same time, you know. So like it's like stupid. Like their whole model, what they'll do is they'll argue until they're blue in the face, and they'll bring up all kind of other statistics and stuff to try to get you confused and say, oh, you don't understand the math. And they'll, you know, one guy said that, you know, he says, well, you're not taking into account the angle of incidence, you know. And when you make a flat Earth model, there is no angle of incidence anymore. You're averaging it over the sunlight over the whole Earth. There is no angle of incidence anymore. When you do that, there's no seasons. You know, in their model, in the global warming model, there's no seasons. There's no North Pole and South Pole. There's no sunrise. There's no sunset. It's all even in weak sunlight. Yeah, I hope you can understand that. But yeah, that's what's taking place. These people are just like, it's part of their agenda and it's nonsense. So all you have to do is tell these professors, like, look, you know, that's a flat Earth model. Is the Earth flat? Is the Earth flat? Yes or no? You know, and if they try to say, oh, you don't understand this or that, say like, look, you need to prove that it's not a flat Earth model, you know. And they're gonna lie their butt off trying to find some way to like deceive you. But like on the model, the IPCC global warming model, they have 342 WM2. What that is watts per meter square. That's 342 watts per meter square per second. So every second, they're saying that in their model, where they average the intensity of the sunlight over both the dark and the light side of the Earth, it only comes up to 342 watts per meter square. That's like minus 18 degrees. It's too weak to heat the earth. But this is what's funny, is when they go to sell you a solar panel, they say that that solar panel, because they're trying to tell you it creates a lot of energy, so they tell you the truth. They say, well, at sea level, you know, there's 1,000 watts per meter square per second that hits a solar panel. You know, like that's the game that they play. When they sell you a solar panel, they say, oh, the sun's really intense and it creates a lot of energy in these solar panels. You know, but like in their model, they say, oh, the sun's too weak to heat the earth. And they average it out over both the light and the dark side of the earth, so that the sun is so weak that it can't cause the weather. You know, they're playing with the intensity of the sun. That's their little game that they're playing. But that's how you debunk it. That's how you debunk the global warming theory. These people, I've seen them like deceive people in the news. Like there's people that are like, you know, like Bill Nye or something like that will get on there. The science guy has seen him and he's like, oh, it's settled science. Well, it's a false settled science. You know, it's false science that has been settled, you know, and unfortunately that doesn't count as truth, you know. But that's how you debunk the global warming people. You know, they're just gonna lie all day long because of this thing fitting their agendas. I guess the only other thing that I can think of right now is solar panels. You know, it's so ironic. Solar panels are made out of coal. They mix quartz with, like up here in Sapphire where I live in North Carolina, they have like some of the nicest quartz in the world. And what they do is they get coal and quartz and then they melt them together and then they make solar panels. So like that's what they are, is they're coal panels. That's why they're black. They melt them together. But they'll sit there all day long and tell you that these things are just made out of quartz or something, or silica. You know, they'll say something like that. They will never tell you about how they're made out of coal. Like half of it's like dang coal. But that's what it is. And then another ironic thing is they need to put it into a furnace, and most likely a coal furnace, because it's more efficient, you know. So like they have to burn even more coal and more energy to heat it up to make the dang things, you know, by melting them. So they're just using tremendous amounts of energy just to make them. So I guess I'll stop right there for now. I thought I had something else that I was thinking of, but I'll just put it in another video. Thanks for watching. I'm getting close to home.